Gaud Hari Bol, Gaud Hari Bol, Gaud Hari Bol. Jai Go, Annaya Betiriga Bhang, Jatsat Sadbhatta Sadbada. Annayadi Tarata. Direct, indirect method. We may approach a cause. Approach a cause. But direct approach is more healthy and helpful. Anukulleno Krishnanushilanam. And the Pratikulleno Krishnanushilanam, that is also possible. To cultivate in indirect way, that is also possible. But that is not very desirable. Anukulleno Krishnanushilanam, to cultivate about Krishna in favorable way, in positive way, that is desirable. By elimination of the indirect side. But indirect side is not less important. It is approaching to the highest stage of devotion in any way or other. It is necessary. It is a necessary part. Indirect. Indirect. Devaki is indirect to Yashoda. Yashoda is always afraid of Devaki, Vasudeva. They come to claim the child as their own. How can it be? So, and in Radharani's camp, they think that Chandavali's camp group, they are anti, indirect, to the direct camp. So in all rasa, there is harmony in discord. When Krishna begins his play along with the friends, two parties, of course, one side is Krishna, another side Balaram, and then the other cowboys, they are divided. But two sides, Balaram and Krishna, represent two opposite sides when playing began. Another divided into two. And they began to fight. And who will be defeated, their punishment is that they will carry the men of the other party on their shoulder. In this way, some sort of service, punishment. Hare Krishna. Balaram was very strong, on the other side, Sridhar was very strong. Sridhar came to Krishna's party, Krishna was less strong, Balaram sufficiently strong. So Balaram one party and the Krishna another party, and the Sridhar must be in the party of Krishna. In this way, and then the playing began. There are two parties fighting. And Balaram generally did not accept that he is defeated. His party is defeated, he won't accept that. So whenever that proposal comes, your party defeated, Balaram became enraged. No, he was wrong. That was his nature. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. And sometimes some demons also entered into the party, taking the form of a cowboy. There's this Pralamba, then Bomasur. They mixed within the party. And they are seeking opportunity of taking on the shoulder, taking away any of them. So Bhamasur, he one day carried Balaram into the depth of the jungle. And when Balaram could understand that he is a demon and not anyone of our party, then such a big blow he put on his head. He died there. Enjoyer enjoyed. Then also subgroups of different rasa. In this way, it is the necessity of the nature of lila, bifurcation, thesis, antithesis, synthesis. Synthesis means there are many antitheses. Otherwise, synthesis, harmony means many. Many and one and many. Unity and polarity. That is harmony. Polarity must be there. Bohu. Neho nanasti kinchana. Neho nanasti kinchana. We will say many, and they are not independent. They are meeting in a common cause. No nana. Not many. Because they are harmonized into one. So, in Upanishad it is said, Neho nanasti kinchana. There is no variegatedness. What's the meaning? Shankaracharya, he sacrifices many and accepted only one. Mahaprabhu told, this is not proper acceptance of the revealed truth. The Nana must have recognition and one also have recognition. Both plurality and unity, both should have recognition, not only one. Why do you say that there is no Nana, no variety, no plurality? You have no right to say that. If plurality is not there, then what is the necessity of saying? What is the necessity of saying that there is no plurality? Plurality is there, and still there is one who is connecting the polarity and controlling the polarity. So, the polarity and the unity both exist simultaneously. You have to admit this. This is the conclusion of Mahaprabhu. But Shankaracharya, he sacrificed the whole polarity, diversity, that only one is there. No polarity. Then necessarily it becomes non-differentiated, non-specified, nirvishesh. Apanipadu javano grihita. No leg, no hand. No hand, no leg. But he can run and he can catch. Paschat tachakhu, no eye, but he can see. Swasinat takatno, no ear, but he can hear. Then Shankaracharya accepts only one part. No ear, no eye, no leg, no hand. But Mahaprabhu says no. You must accept both. He has no leg, but he can run, he can walk. What does it mean? He can see, but he has no eye. What should it mean? The eye is there, but the eye is not of the fleshy eye as we have got. This is the purpose. The leg is not like the leg that we possess. The eye is not so that we have got. But he has got his eye. So, prakrito nishedhi kare aprakrito sthapan. That is the conclusion of Mahaprabhu. Not this mundane, but he has got spiritual. Spiritually he has got everything. And this negativeness only will apply to the mundane characteristic. Otherwise he can see, so he has got eye. But he has got no eye, there is no eye similar to us. That should be the purpose of the Vedic mantra. Everywhere we have to take in that way. Sarvam Khalidam Brahma. Wherever we see it is Brahma. Sarvam, Shankaracharya says no Sarva, not many, but only one Brahma. Mahaprabhu says how no, Sarvam is also existing. There is no necessity of saying such. But one is the master and they are subordinate in a system. The control and the controller, and this way. Otherwise no necessity. If it is not existing, then what is the necessity of your talking so much? Whom you have come to preach? What is the necessity of preaching if they are not existing? So that is also it. Maya is also there. Maya has got its existence. Otherwise, why you have come to remove Maya? If Maya does not exist, if misconception, misunderstanding does not exist at all, then what is the necessity of your talking so much to remove misunderstanding? It is there. So misconception, the possibility of misconception is also there. It is a reality. It is reality. That misconception, provincial, local conception, it is also there. The relative is also there, not only absolute. Absolute relative. Both coexistent. This is Chidvilas. Chidvilas. Not the negation of a particular thing, but the adjustment. Adjustment with everything with the whole. Gaur Hari, Gaur Hari, Gaur Hari. So, Krishna is considering the case of Shishupal, how he will be killed. A meeting, Krishna, Balaram and Uddhava, three, discussing. What Krishna says, Baladev giving opposition. Krishna wants a policy to be adopted. Baladev, what is this policy? You please leave it to me. I shall go and kill him straight. What is the policy, this and that? I don't understand all that. Then Uddhava, he is trying to pacify Baladev. Baladev. And it is represented very cleverly in Magha Kavi. Jaduk Uktam Musalopanina. The dhani, in the ornamental way. What the Musalopani has told, Musalopani is Baladev. Musal means this club. Musalopani, Baladev, that gives a hint that he does not rely on any intelligence or politics. He wants to solve everything with the club, with the strike of his club. Musalopani. That he has got less intelligence, but wide force. Musalopani. Then it was arranged that Rajsriya Yajna is advancing and Shishupal will be all will be invited and the Krishna will be given by the Pandava. the highest position, and that Shishupal won't be able to tolerate, and he will abuse Krishna in a very boisterous way. And then Krishna already promised that 100 offenses he will pardon to Shishupal's mother, his maternal aunt, and that will be fulfilled and he will be killed there. These all was presented by Uddhava in that meeting. And they ultimately what to do, that was accepted by Balaram. Gaur Hari Gaur, Nijai Gaur Hari Gaur. Opposition is also service. Service. And Madhur Rasa also. Opposition may be seeming opposition. Opposition. Bhamma bhav, Bhamma. Bhamma bhav. Of course, that's a very higher topic. Radharani's nature is Bhamma bhav, Mama. What is offered from the side of Krishna, she flatly refuses that. And that increases excitement in Krishna. That is a peculiar thing. Nirantar Bhama. Nirantar Bhama, the highest type of, what is Naika? Nayak, Naika? Hero, heroine. The highest type of heroine. She would possess that sort of attitude. Always opposing the hero. Such a tendency. It is supposed to be the highest quality. All these things. So opposition is also a particular service to the cause. In harmony, it has got its position. Otherwise, what is the necessity of harmony? The greatest opposition force, if one can control, there is the real capacity or real prasangsa, superiority of harmonizing principle. The greatest opposition force can be harmonized by whom? He is the expert of harmonizer, of the harmonizing. So harmony. Harmony means to control opposite forces. Opposite forces. And it must have to be such powerful that it will come into. And Ramchandra told once when Lakshman fell hit by the Shakti-shil, peculiar type of weapon of Ravana. Shakti-shil, perhaps by Indrajit or so. And Ramchandra repented very much and he told afterwards, the Deshi Kolastrani, we can get now the wife may be available in every province and the country. Deshi Chavanda, friends also we can have from many countries. Tantu desham na pashyami jatta bhrata sahudara. But no land can be seen where a brother from the same mother can be found. That was the willing of Ramchandra. But Lakshman told from the opposite side. Ramchandra said that not a friend like brother is never available anywhere. But Lakshman, he told from the opposite angle of vision. Garbhastha khirahantara. The brother is the worst type of enemy because when he comes in the mother's womb, the elder brother, he cannot suck the breast of the mother, milk. When the brother is in the womb, the elder brother is deprived of the mother's milk of the breast. Garbhastha khirahantara. Bhumishta krodhata. When he comes out of the womb of his mother, then the brother captures the lap of mother, and the elder brother is dispossessed of the lap of mother. Bhumishta krodhaghataka. Krodha, that lap of mother is dispossessed by the elder. Jauvane dhanahantara. When he is grown up, he comes to take the share of the father's property. Claims, I have equal share with you. Or nasti bhrati samodipu. So, brother is the first class enemy of the brother. That was because that was argued by Lakshmana himself. Gaur Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol. The opposition. Still Ramchandra, he could control brothers. Harmony. And Ramchandra also we find. She left Sita, vanished her. Vanished Sita when she was with child. Only by the remark of an ordinary subject, he vanished Sita. Then when there was a particular sacrifice, Ramchandra was asked by the rishis that you must marry without wife. Such sacrifice cannot be performed. So you have to marry. That's Ashwamedha Yajna. Then Ramchandra refused to marry. Then there was a compromise. Then a golden statue of Sita, that will be prepared, and that will be on the left side of Ramchandra when he will engage himself in the actual sacrifice. The rishis agreed. And when that news reached Sita, Sita thought first that Ramchandra had only one wife, Sita, whereas Dasharatha had several thousands, his father. But Ramchandra only single wife, Ekopatni Dha. Krishna Bahu Vallabh in Dwaruka, thousands. But Ramchandra only one, Sita. And she and Ramchandra, of course, apparently dealt with her very cruelly. But when Sita heard that Ramchandra is performing yajna, Sita knew that he must have to marry again. But when she heard that Ramchandra, with a golden statue of Sita on his side, he is performing yajna, and she did not marry. Then though vanished in the forest, Sita, she had her satisfaction to the highest degree. Though he is so faithful to me. I am not banished from his heart. I am banished externally for the policy of government. But actually I am not banished from his heart. So harmony. How the things of opposite types can be harmonized by higher principle. To harmonize things of a particular plane, energy of the higher plane is necessary to harmonize. Thesis, antithesis, synthesis. Anything, and there must be something anti. Cannot but be some opposition, some opposite conception. Any statement, some opposition. And to harmonize that. Hegel says that is the process of progress. Process of progress. Progress means this. Whatever there will be, some opposition, conception of opposition, possibility. The possibility of opposition, and then to do away with the opposition, greater harmony is necessary.
মহারাজের সঙ্গে আমি একটা কথা বলছি এই যে উত্তর
highest type of harmony is so the diversity ultimately help it. The opposition helps the main flow. Not only harmonized, but it enhances the beauty of the harmony. When harmony is successful, then it becomes the necessity of beauty. The necessity of beauty and harmony are the same thing. Beauty, harmony is perhaps used in the sound world, and beauty in the eye world, eye and the ear. But anyhow, the opposition enhances the beauty. If there would not be any diversity, then beauty was not possible. Different things will be, and they will be harmonized, and that is beauty, vilas. Otherwise it will be jumbled together, and it be his Brahma. So Krishna represents beauty, and his harmonizing capacity exceeds, supersedes everything. Even stealing is beautiful, lying is beautiful, whatever he does, his wickedness is also beautiful. The conception of the greatest harmony, that you can harmonize anything and everything. Nothing can be there which he cannot harmonize. So the opposition, what is very objectionable, the stealing, the lying, debauchery, so to say, is inconceivable in him, all harmonized. All harmonized, so sweet. No enemy. Enemy also becomes friend in harmony. Beauty means that. Harmony means that. Not afraid. Advayan. Bhayang ditya vinvi satasat. The origin of fear only comes from the lack of harmony. Fear borns from disappointment of harmony. There is no place of any fear. Ditya, bhayam, dityavi. Undesirability is represented in Sanskrit as bhayam. Bhay means apprehension. Apprehension, fear, originates from lack of harmony. Bhayam ditya vinivi satasat, of second interest. Common interest, one interest. If we can reduce many interests into one interest, as parts of one interest, then there is harmony, no fear. Only fear from separate interest, clash between separate interest. But if that can be linked in common interest, no fear. Bhayam ditya vinivi satasat. Ishadapi tusya vipujjayu smriti. The first stage, that we are afraid, we have got apprehension. Why? Ditya vinivi. We are suffering from the mania of second interest, separate interest. So we are afraid, we have got apprehension. Ditya vinivisa, ishadapi tusya. When does it come to effect? To take place? This apprehension, ishadapi tusya. When we deviate from the common master, idea of common master, common controller, common guardian, then only we suffer from apprehension. The vyadhi, the disease of apprehension, arises only when we lose, we separate ourselves from the common controller, common guardian of all. Ishadapi, the master consciousness, that we have got a master, we have got a controller, and he is common to all. And he is our interest represented there, in that common master. Ishogyan, I have got my master, and he is to look after that, and he is master of all. So no apprehension. So deviation from the consciousness of a common master, common guardian, the apprehension comes to us. Ishadapi tusya vipurjayo asmriti. And then, when deviated, one is minus of the common guardian, then before joy, he comes in a very unfavorable circumstances. Losing that common master consciousness, he comes in a very dreadful position before joy. Before Jayo, Asmriti, and forgets, he is puzzled and forgets his own selfish self, real self, and the self-interest. Also he loses. Before Jayo, Asmriti, he is beside himself. Asmriti. Tanmayayatu viva bhajittam. Then if he can come, he comes to know anyhow by the help of the external sadhus. That is his maya. then who can control the Maya? He does not go to fight with Maya, illusion, misconception, the forgetfulness of the center, the forgetfulness of his guardian. When he appeals to the guardian himself, bhumuskalitavadanam bhumirivaavalambanam. If we fall on the ground, with the help of the ground we stand again. So, our forgetfulness of our guardian, that is the cause of all the disasters in which I find ourselves. And again, the only way to get out of this, to be reinstated in that idea of guardian, common guardianship. And that is affected by the sadhus, the normal, that are not deviated from God consciousness. With their help, we are to appeal to that all-controlling agency, and then we can again be reinstated in that Ish of Gyan, that I have got my master. I have got my master, to whom, in whose holy feet I am to take shelter. I am to surrender to my master. The life of surrender again comes. We take and everything is there. Only we shall be always be conscious of our guardian, the highest harmonizer. The problem is one. Only one problem, that we deviate from the consciousness of our guardian, and only way to get out of the trouble, to become conscious of our common guardian. That is God consciousness, Krishna consciousness. Back to God, back to home, back to Godhead. The only one problem, we are deviated from Godhead, and we shall try to go towards Godhead. We shall go back to Godhead. The only one word, that is necessary, what is necessary. Back to Godhead. Back to home. Back to God, back to home. The general problem is this. And by so many variegated ways that is to be promoted. But the main thing is this. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Gaur Hare, Gaur Hare, Gaur Hare, Gaur Hare, Gaur Hare. The Krishna consciousness, the center of highest harmony. Highest harmony. And harmony is sweetness, harmony is beautiful. Harmony is Krishna, harmony is our guardian, harmony is our mother, that is their guardian, harmony is our master. That is sweetness, that is wrath. No enemy, no apprehension. I will be devoured by the inauspicious element around. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. That guardian came to us from door to door, Gaur Nityananda. Take us. I have come to you, take me. Gauranga, Nityananda, from door to door. Accept Gauranga. I will be sold to you without any price. No price necessary. I will be sold to you. Only you take to Gauranga. Bhaja Gauranga, Kaha Gauranga, Laho Gaurange Naam, Je Bhaja Gauranga Chandi, Sei Amar Pram. He is my vitality of vitality. You say, you take refuge, go to Gauranga. What is your real necessity, he has come to your door. Accept him. And what is necessary, I am doing. Jesus came to wash the feet of his followers. Is it not?
Jesus.
Wash the feet of the disciples at 10. Something like
Yes.
that.
Yes.
So Nityananda Prabhu has come to offer any service, he will take to the name of Gauranga. The approach nearly similar, but the object of approach, there is great difference between Jesus and Gauranga. Krishna or Krishna, Christ and Krishna. One full-fledged, and is a partial achievement. The method, closer, means closer relation. Hari Krishna, Gaur Hari. And the Gandhi also there, Ahimsa. But the achievement is only political, mostly. This mundane political emancipation. But Jesus had some higher spiritual offer. And Mahaprabhu, the highest spiritual offer on the basis of science. Full-fledged theism. And so what Sukadev announced in the assembly of the great scholars of ancient India, of different thoughts. Gaur Hari Bol, 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 Gaur Hari Bol. Nidai Gaur Hari Bol, Nidai Gaur Hari Bol, Nidai Gaur Hari Bol. Any question?
Maharaj,
Yes.
when Ramachandra was separated from Sita, can those feelings of separation be compared to when Radha was feeling separation from Krishna? Is there any comparison there?
No, not. This is relating to the mundane government avatar. That is the eternal. Obviously, this is also eternal, but it has got temporary value, and that is permanent. This is as a policy in the mundane administration. Niti. Ramchandra is more given, Ramlila is more given to the niti,
Morality.
moral
Conduct.
and this mundane moral side. And the Krishna's pastimes concern only wholesale, the highest pastimes. No mundane reference. And here the reference is mundane. Good king. The good king of the highest conception that we find in Ramchandra. The highest possible ideal king in consideration with this mundane administration of many. with religious background. But Krishna Lila is Turiya, that is, has got no connection with this mundane world. That is an eternal plane in the highest quarter of the existence. Hare Krishna, Gaur Hari, Gaur Hari, Gaur Hari.
What is the teaching behind his hearing a person of the people, and on the basis of hearing that impression, he banishes the Sita, who is impeccable? What is the teaching behind it for moral? Government ways.
He takes the responsibility of even of promising good government even to the worst people. Just as a bad son, he should also get affection of the mother or father. A most wicked child, he has got also a position in the affectionate bosom of his mother or father. A slight remark against his good name, a slight remark against the sincerity of good government, Ramchandra could not tolerate. For that, he took the highest beat, highest sacrifice. For the least dissatisfaction of the subject, he held himself responsible and took the whole reaction on him, the penances on him. I am not only master of so many souls, but if anything, even any imaginable remark comes against it, just as when any disorder in the department of any administration, the minister resigns. You are acquainted with that. This fashion, this etiquette, that whenever any unsuccessful in particular department of the minister thinks that I am not fit, I resign. A fit man should be engaged in my place. I have to save his honor. Honorable retirement, honorable retreat. That I am unfit. So in that line, if I am a king, I am supposed to give a good government to my subjects. But I find there is some complaint about me, then I must take the charge, the bad remark against me, and I must have to take the challenge, either to give away the kingdom. I am not fit, I leave the kingdom, or I shall have to, the alternate thing, I shall have to make sacrifice so as to make compensation for the complaint. So Ramchandra took the second line. That you say that I myself, I am doing wrong. I am not law-abiding, the moral law-abiding. I am the dispenser of the laws, and I am lawbreaker, who is dealing with the laws of the country, and the complaint came that he is the lawbreaker, religious lawbreaker. Then I am taking the punishment on my own head, according to your judgment. You subject, I give judgment for your control, and your opinion is controlling me. Accept your judgment. And though I may know that I am not, I can't be charged with that complaint, but still, because someone says that I am so and so, so I take the punishment myself, so that there not be any room for other subjects to do such things. Apparently that may be objectionable, not really. Sita is chaste. Sita lived for 1 year, full 1 year in Ravan's house, and Ravan was a demon, and he was great power. So easily one may think that Sita has been polluted. She was under the care of a satanic person for the whole year. So easily some complaint may come against her. But few of us are satisfied that she is as pure as we can conceive. But general public may not have such understanding. So, to satisfy the mob, I take their decision as punishment on me, and I accept that. Yes, I banish Sita. I am giving punishment to anyone and everyone from this throne, and when a slight voice is raised against me that I am a culprit, I must take the punishment. That was the most generous type of attitude which Ramchandra showed. Gaur Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol.
Maharaj, you were speaking of the principle of harmony.
And then coming. Krishna also did so. When a bad name came to him that he has stolen that Samanta Kamani. But Krishna knew that he has not taken it. But he had to take that challenge and run after to do some justice to that bad name. And anyhow, he followed the person and the lion, and then from Jambuvan, he restored that Samantakamani and he gave it to the owner to prove that he was not the thief. The Kalanka, the bad name, came to him, and in order to deal with that, he had to take such trouble and prove that I am not the thief. Then what do you say?
I had a question because you were speaking about the principle of harmony.
Harmony.
Yes.
Mm.
I was wondering if you could explain how that applies practically, what you were explaining.
What does he say?
I don't know.
He wants to understand how to practically understand this principle of harmony.
How practically to understand what is the principle of harmony.
Yes, he's asking that.
What is the meaning of harmony, you know?
Yes.
Harmony means what? In your conception, what
Well,
is harmony?
Harmony, strictly speaking, is a musical term, and it refers to different musical tones which are in
Yes.
balance, and they sound.
So different sound is tuned to one. That is harmony. Different যন্ত্রগুলোকে কি বলে? Different sound instruments, different tone from different man, many plural is connected with one and giving some sweet, on the whole giving some sweet and soothing feeling or sentiment. That is harmony. There must be different thing, different kind of sounds from different kind of instruments and different kinds of voice. Harmony. As you see, the earth, the planets, they are moving in their own way. And again they are connected with another movement, another force. The moon is moving around the earth. There are so many Upagraha planets are moving around another planet. Upagraha means ki? Just moon to the earth. So in Brihaspati, in Shani Graha, there are so many sub-planets, planets. They are moving in their own way. Again, with all those movements, earth is moving around the sun. So many others moving. In this way, in 1 year, earth is circumambulating the sun. Then there is Brihaspati under, in 2 or 4 years or 12 years, Brihaspati completes its round around the sun. Again, there is a time when everyone can complete his 1 year movement. This, you know the LCM, mathematics, LCM, BCM, do you know?
LCM.
LCM, to find a common.
Lowest common multiple.
Yes.
Common. So many figures, they meet their common divided. Some 5 times, some 10 times, some 100 times. There's a meet at one point. In this way, in variety meets in one point. He represents in one, all meet in one. That is harmony. Plurality meeting unity. In different plane, in the plane of sound, in the plane of color, in the plane of movement, it may be of different phases, but many meets one in one point. That is harmony. Just as so many branches of the tree, they meet in the trunk. The trunk harmonizes so many branches. The twig harmonizes so many leaves. In this way. harmony. Midai Gaur Hari Bol. And they applied in the plane of sound, and the beauty which is applied in the plane of color, vision. So also in different plane, the beauty, the harmony, the unity, and many similar words that can represent. The master, the guardian, the controller, the well-wisher, in different phases it may be applied. Many in one. Many represented in one point. And interest of the many when represented in one place. Hare Krishna, Gaur Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol. Nidai Gaur Hari Bol, Nidai Gaur Hari Bol.
So in the absolute, even discord brings harmony.
Yes. In the highest absolute there is room for the accommodation of anything and everything. Otherwise it cannot be absolute. If something outside, it is not absolute. Absolute, one accommodates everything. Enemy is no enemy to him. All relatives. So according to the Sankar says, then it becomes zero. Yeah, all enemy, friend, all jumbled together, that is possible only in zero conception. But the theistic schools say, no, that is divine dynamic living. Absolute means absolute good. It's not zero. Not necessarily it will be non-differentiated, non-specified, a zero-like thing. But everything will have got its fullest representation. Still, whole is so great that it can accommodate them. They are in full swing. All the parts they have got their full interest. And the controller is the general is so high and tactful that he can control the soldiers. They are so brave at suicidal quad. The suicidal quad, the soldiers must be very brave, and the general of that quad must be very, very brave. Bold and brave and desperate soldiers also can be harmonized in a particular army. They can be controlled. There's such brave and such genius there may be as to become their general. Positivist, not negativist like Sankar, but positivist. Yes, everything is when I was a boy of 14, I heard from one of my teachers, Satyam Briyat, Priyam Briyat, no Briyat Satyam Apriyam, Priyancha Nanitam Briyat, Isha Dharma Sanatana. He quoted it from some Upanishad perhaps. It says, Satyam Briyat, always speak the truth. Priyam Briyat, always speak what is pleasing. No Briyat Satyam Apriyam, never speak such truth which is not pleasing, unpleasant. Satyam Apriyam. Priyancha Nanitam Briyat. At the same time, you must not speak a pleasing thing which is untrue, which is false. Isha Dharma Sanatana. This is Sanatana Dharma, the eternal conduct. I was puzzled. What is this? Satyam Briyat, it is all right. Then Priyam Briyat, it is also all right, not objectionable. But Mahaprabhu Satyam Apriyam, never say such truth which is unpleasant. How it can be tolerated? Whether it is pleasing or unpleasing, truth must be spoken. Why should it be? Should have any opposition? The truth must not be spoken. No Briyat Satyam Apriyam. At the same time, the Priyancha Nanitam, whatever pleasant but not true, don't say so. So, Isha Dharma Sanatana, Dharma, the eternal conduct should be like this. So, truth also have necessity of modification. There is the truth of our conception. The higher truth can conceive, can harmonize both truth and falsehood. It comes out of that. Krishna asking Yudhishthira, say that Ashwatthama is dead. Say to Dhanacharya. But Yudhishthira, faltering, hesitating. But Krishna says, what is the truth of your conception from the higher standpoint that may not have such value. A general law in a particular plane that may lose its generalness in the consideration of higher office. The gradation of conception in truth. Truth in our conception may not be true truth from the higher plane of conception. Arjuna, he promised that whoever will blame his Gandhi, he will cut his head immediately. One day when Yudhishthira was insulted by Karna in the Kurukshetra battle, then Arjuna and Krishna has retired from the battle to take some rest in the camp, and Yudhishthira abused Arjuna. You gave me assurance that you will make me king, and I am tempted by that. I am a fellow, fell prey to your influence, but you can't do that. Karna has insulted me very severely. Why your Gandhi? Then Arjuna, when the blame came to Gandhi, Arjuna trying to draw the sword from is
She.
sit. And Krishna marched, hey, what do you do? You are going to keep up your promise by beheading your brother Yudhishthir. You have understood very well how to keep up the promise, is it not? But have you got only one promise? That whoever will blame your Gandhi, we will behead him. Only this promise in your life you have made. And there are other promise that you will make king, the Yudhishthir, the king of India. Was not that a promise of you? And was not that a promise? These are so many promises. And if you don't keep up your promise, you will welcome death. That is another alternative. If you can't keep up your promise, then you will die. Death is also of different kinds. 8 kinds of death. One of death is to engage in one's own praise. So, as the sin, so the penance. So go on praising your own capacity. Then 8 kinds of death, that is one kind of death, to praise one's own self. Do that. Arjuna was perplexed. Yes, he was really going to behead Yudhishthira to keep up his promise, but he already promised that he must be emperor of India. That was also a promise. So Krishna came with the conception of higher truth. Arjuna was perplexed and Arjuna left. In this way, in the conception of our truthfulness, that is also some defect. So Satyam Briyat Priyam, what is Satyam Parang Dhimahi? So what is true? The truth is not law, truth is Krishna. The ultimate conception will come that truth is personal, truth is a living thing, not a dead law, abstract. That is not the real conception of truth proper. Satyam Parang Dhimahi, the characteristic of truth, let us try to understand. Srimad Bhagavatam says, I am here by going to give you the real conception, what is truth proper. Truth is person, truth is absolute. Truth is the Lord. Truth is not a law, abstract, a man-made expression. Oh. To abide by the absolute movement, flow of movement coming from the absolute control center, that is truth. Or whatever he desires, he wants, surrender to that, that is truth. The highest conception of truth is there in harmony. Truth is to dance in harmony with the most original plane according to its vibration and wave. That is truth. That is inevitable, causeless, inevitable movement of the plane. To dance in tune of that is truth. Gaur Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol, Gaur Hari. Truth is God. Satyam, then Shivam, then Sundaram. Truth can be raised into that of Kalyan, goodness, and then again that is sweetness. Truth is sweetness, anandam, rasam. That is truth. That is truth. what can fulfill, what can quench the thirst of all. That is truth. In its higher conception, truth that can satisfy, that can quench the thirst of anyone and everyone in the world. Truth has got such a wide conception. Satyam, and gradually that goes Shivam. So when truth says that man will be punished with death, then mercy comes and minimizes. Then mercy is not truth, but the higher conception of truth, mercy, who can compensate this situation. Mercy may not come from a man in the street, but mercy can come only from such a position who can give harmony, can compensate. He can only show mercy, not anyone in the street. So, in this way, the higher conception of truth runs so sundara, satisfaction, to remove all the difficulties, not only, but positively to fill up the whole heart with sweet nectar, juice, sweet juice. Akhila rasamritamurti. The definition of Krishna has been given in Bhakti Raksak Sridhar by Rupa Goswami. Akhila rasamritamurti. The nectar in rose, juice, and that is personified, that is harmonized. Personification means harmonized, and the living thing. Gaur Hari, Gaur Hari, Gaur Hari, Gaur Hari, Nidai Gaur Hari Bol, Nidai Gaur Hari Bol. Nidai Gaur Hari Bol, Nidai Gaur Hari Bol, Nidai Gaur Hari Bol.